I hate doing intros, but what's good, YouTube? Comment on the video. Today we're doing a fire edition of Karma TV, where we put polls on Instagram and let you guys vote on them. Kind of like y'all really listen in a way. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the whole spiel. And with that being said, roll the intro, bro. Peace.
So with that said, we are going to start with the first firefight. We have Yamato from Bleach versus Shinra from Fire Force. It was quite surprising with the results we had here. Well, I shouldn't say quite surprising, but we had 71% going to Yamato and 29% going to Shinra. What are y'all thoughts on this?
Now, my opinion on this, I think that Yamato is the stronger fire user in general. We're talking about fire for fire, right? I think that the 29% of people who voted for Shinra are probably people who read the manga. If that makes any sense.
That's what I was thinking too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're the people who read the manga that was like, oh, Shinra, this form, Shinra beats Yamato. But if we're talking about anime for anime, fire for fire, solo, solely on just fire, I think the Yamato still wins. Even though Shinra's the boy.
Dang. I was not expecting that from you.
Yeah, it's mostly just, I know, right? You got to read the manga. But, but no, it's just mostly because of Yamato's output and him being able to just melt the whole, the whole Soul Society if he left his Bankai activated for too long. So he's just one of those heavy hitters. And Shinra's main issue was that he didn't do enough damage. It's like, yeah, he's fast, but it was like a fly, basically. So he would just tickle Yamato at that point. So I can understand why the results were like that.
Not the tickling Yamato, though.
Exactly.
Oh man.
No,
Mike?
I mean, from what y'all say, I don't know the manga Shinra or the anime Yamamoto, but the amount of output always has been things that have popped up in like Reddit posts, and basically everything is that Yamamoto's output is literally insane. So if Shinra can't dodge it, I mean, he can move super fast, but if he can't get to that area quick enough, it sounds like similar to like when Amaterasu was first introduced in like Naruto, like you can't get away from it or it can't unstick to you type stuff. So it definitely sounds like I'm gonna give it to Yamamoto for this one for sure.
True. I was about to say, to kind of give my thoughts on it too, I kind of agree with where Ant was going with. I feel like the 29% definitely was going off of the manga Shinra, because as Ant was saying, without really giving us much spoilers, and I mean, I kind of saw it too, it does seem like he basically, gets on this god tier level in comparison to where Yamato is, but anime only. I mean, just Yamato's spirit pressure, I feel like, is enough to kind of put Shinra in his place. And then the flames, like you said, being able to burn the earth surface, he would be able to do a lot more damage in a wider area faster than Shinra could get away from it. So
just to throw it out there, so is Shinra planetary by the end of the season? Because we know that Yamamoto is planetary at the very least. So
talking about anime or manga?
Manga.
I want to say so.
Yeah, that's an ant. Yeah.
I want to say so.
All right, so enough said for that one then.
Then we can move on to the next one now. And with the next one being a versus fight between Natsu from Fairy Tail and Suna from Hitman Reborn. We had 80% going to Natsu and 20% going to Suna. Kind of not surprised on this one, but I'm gonna let y'all start first. What are y'all thoughts?
I think every time we see these and do these, I think we need to do a popularity, because I feel like this is a popularity based one again. But again, Reddit told me that Natsu eats fire, and he basically has dealt with basically every single type of fighter that you can kind of think of in the anime perspective. So I do think that Natsu would take this nod, but from how Mari described Suna, I don't think it will be this much of a difference.
Yeah, I can kind of give you that. Like I said, I agree with you, and everybody in the Reddit did say Natsu has fought all different type of magic users in general, so he has a wider variety and versatility as far as on the hand when it comes to combat, and his dragon instincts also allow him to fight on the fly versus Suna, which, you know, everybody is always talking about his light speed feats and being the mastery of flames. You can be the mastery of flames, but I mean, somebody who eats fire and other elements to consume for his own energy kind of makes it a problematic. But Khalil, what are y'all thoughts?
I mean, we already knew this. Anytime you include Natsu in a fire matchup, usually it's a wash because it's just like Mike said, the man eats fire, and then the whole. I say it every time he shows up, but it's the friendship thing. Natsu's just he's a tank. He's durable and absurdly strong, so I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, that is true. He is a tank too. That is something to say. Though Suna does have an ability that does kind of give him a moment of invulnerability to taking damage, which is his cloak. Suna does have a lot more under his belt too, which I don't think, you know, like Mike was saying, it's popularity. Fairy Tail kind of has more of a popular fan base than Hitman Reborn does. But if you were to really read the manga, Suna has a lot more under his belt than people give him slack for. But what are your thoughts?
What I'm saying, I think it's more so of a knowledge thing. I feel like Suna might have things that make this less of a wash. But again, we've seen Natsu beat people that, like, people talk about, like Ace, for example, right? Ace is probably known as one of the higher fire rank, you know, users in general. And he beat him outside of not just being able to use fire, but because he can use lightning and other abilities too. But even if we're going fire for fire, again, like I said with Yamato, I feel like Natsu being able to eat it and then use it as his own, use it as an advantage over Suna, especially if that's all Suna can do, then he's still going to lose either way. I think that Suna probably has things that make it maybe not 80-20, but probably like, you know, I'm not gonna say 50-50, like, you know what I mean? Like 90-40.
Yeah,
whatever the
right.
numbers are, you know, she's something like that.
60-40, 30-70.
Yeah, so something less than what it is right now, because Suna is people don't have the knowledge of Suna because that's underrated, let's put it that way, underrated anime. Let me put it that way.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true. I feel that. All right. Well, we can move on to the next one then. And the next one being, this is an interesting matchup that we have here. It is Dabi from My Hero Academia and Roshi, if I'm saying his name correctly, from Naruto Shippuden. Now, this one was kind of a closer matchup than I thought, with 55% going to Dabi and 45% going to Roshi. What are y'all thoughts?
No.
Yeah. All right, Khalil, go ahead. Get him.
Let me get this straight. You're telling me Dabi, this guy right here, is beating in Cherokee? Are you serious right now? What is wrong with Instagram?
No, what is wrong with My Hero fans?
Come on, man. Like, y'all get on my... This dude, Roshi, uses lava. Come on. You see it in fact, we saw it in One Piece. You saw what happened with Ace. So this is just ridiculous to me that people on Instagram think, I'm sorry, My Hero fans think that Dabi can even harm this man, to be honest. Like, it's already bad enough Roshi's one of the characters that show up at the end of the series. You know how it is when you get a character who shows up at the end. They're typically stronger than everyone else. Dabi's still in the middle. He hasn't shown much. Like, all you've seen him do is set a forest on fire. It's a popularity contest. Y'all make me sick.
Anybody disagree with this one? Because I mean, I definitely don't think it should be this close either. I think Khalil definitely hits it on the nail. Jinchuriki's immense power. I mean, he was the 4-tail or 3-tail? I think he was the 4-tail.
4-tail.
I think that should grant him enough power to beat him. And he was one of the people who they said went against Kisame, who of the Akatsuki, and he got away, right?
I believe so.
I think he got away. So yeah, that alone, I'm sorry, tanks Dabi, but which I think.
I think that like what Khalil said, we've only really seen Dabi do, like, you know, show up, light his hand on fire, you know, set a forest on fire. We haven't really seen Dabi do anything that shows like feats enough for him to be that strong. They just like talk him up to be that strong from like you know, like a foreshadowing type of you know what I mean? Everything that we've seen or heard from Dabi is more so like statements and not actually seeing it. So for people to say that Dabi wins, it's more so of like, we like Dabi over Roshi, or we don't know who Roshi is. which is popularity again, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it is definitely more of like a recency bias. More people are familiar with the My Hero Academia and all their feats versus Roshi, which granted, the Saijin Jerky don't get that much spotlight to begin with in comparison to probably Dabi does, being a part of the main villain cast. But I'm just saying this, if he loses control and turns into a full-tailed beast, the tailed beast bomb is enough to blow up a whole lot in one shot. Like, this man was only able to burn up a forest? No, there's no way. So, don't agree with the results, but this was the closest one so far. All right, with that said, we can move on to the next and final one, which was also another interesting one, actually. And this is Rin Akumura from Blue Exorcist versus Avdol from JoJo Bizarre Adventures, with Rin getting a 63% and Avdol getting a 37%. It was kind of going back and forth when this was still going, but aside from the previous matchup, this was the only other one that was pretty close. So, what are y'all thoughts?
From what I know about both characters, I guess I'd have to say this one is correct. Avdol, he the black anime character that's not in Naruto, so I wasn't expecting him to be that strong. But Rin is literally the son of the devil, correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I would expect some high feats from him. That's kind of all I got to say. So it's not the poll looks bad, but I think if it was 60-40, like I feel like naturally I'd agree with this. So I'm not mad at this one.
Khalil and
No, we're in the same boat. I think that because he's the son of the devil or Satan, how you want to say it, him having a demon form and stuff on top of that probably boosts that blue flame power that he has, and he's able to manipulate his powers through his emotions. So he probably has different abilities and techniques and stuff. But I don't know the full extent of the stand user that we're talking about. So I'm not too sure if it's this close or not, because I don't have the full knowledge on the other guy that we're talking about. But I feel like from what we've heard of him, that he's not a slopstone, if you put it that way. In that sense.
For the most part, like I've seen Blue Exorcist season 1 and 2. Now, granted, it's been quite some time, but you guys basically are correct. He is the son of Satan himself, and he does learn to control it more. And like Ant said, based off of his emotions, he can allow his flames, for the most part, when he has the sword unsheathed, can use his devil powers to his fullest extent and also spread his flames much further. I do think it would be interesting though, because it's a matter of would he be able to even see the stand or not, because in JoJo Bizarre only stand users can see the stands.
There. So if you guys like that video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know the whole spill. Who do you think won these matchups? Let us know down below. And if you disagree with us, somebody out of all of us will argue with you down below. Peace.